Welcome to the Highlights from Ukraine podcast, your daily audio summary of the latest news reported in the Ukrainian media. You can support our podcast by subscribing to our Patreon. In gratitude for your help, we will give you access to a series of exclusive episodes on wartime life in Ukraine. From this series, you can learn how ordinary Ukrainians live in times of invasion, what they eat, how they travel, celebrate, what music they listen to, and much more. To subscribe to our Patreon, follow the link in the description to this episode. My name is Artem, and here is the news. For 172 days, Ukraine stands strong against the Russian invasion. In his evening video address, President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelensky expressed gratitude to Ukraine's intelligence and law enforcement officers, journalists, and everyone who works to establish the full data on the Russians who commit crimes in Ukraine. He stressed that Ukraine and its partners are receiving more and more information about those directly responsible for terror and torture, for the so-called filtration and deportation of Ukrainians, for looting. All responsible will definitely be held to account, believes the president. Zelensky added that when evil takes on such proportions, people's silence approaches the level of complicity, and the rejection of the real fight against evil becomes the assistance to it. He addressed Russian citizens saying that if they are silent, it means they are not fighting, it means that they are supporting it. Quote, "No matter where you are, both on the territory of Russia and abroad, your voice should sound in support of Ukraine and therefore against this war," unquote. Latvian President Egils Levits said that Latvia, together with Finland, Estonia, the Czech Republic and other countries, should put forward a demand at the EU level to stop issuing tourist visas to citizens of Russia, reports European Pravda. He also stated that residence permits and visas already issued in Latvia should be cancelled for those who support Russian aggression. The Ministry of Justice of Latvia announced that they are preparing a draft law on limiting the use of the Russian language at work and in public places. Polish Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs Piotr Wawrzyk admitted that not all EU countries agree on limiting visas for Russians. Among these countries are such major EU member states like Germany, France, and the Netherlands. Wawrzyk stressed that Poland is working on a new solution along with other countries who support visa ban. He reminded that Poland has not been issuing tourist visas to citizens of Russia for several months. Finland announced that it will soon begin discussions on the idea of visa restrictions for Russians as well. Amnesty International announced that independent experts will check its recent report in which the organization accuses the Ukrainian military of endangering civilians and violating the laws of war, reports Deutsche Welle. The report caused a wide public outcry, with some of the members of Amnesty in different countries resigning in protest and some of the donors cutting off funding of the organization. The General Staff of Ukraine informs that the enemy tries to advance in Donetsk and partially in Zaporizhia regions, reports Unian. In the Slovensk area, the Russian forces conducted an assault in the direction of Tykhotske Dolina, was unsuccessful, suffered losses, and withdrew. In the Bakhmut direction, the enemy intensified reconnaissance of the front edge of Ukraine's defense and led an offensive in the areas of Soledar and Kodema, had no success, withdrew. In the Avdiivka area, the Russian forces conducted offensive battles in the direction of Pisky and Pervomaiske without success. In the Zaporizhia region, the Russian troops tried to advance towards Pavlivka but had no success and retreated. According to the US Institute for the Study of War, the Russian forces are likely operating in roughly 6 groups oriented on Kharkiv city, along the Izum-Slovensk line, the Siversk-Lysychansk area, Bakhmut, the Avdiivka-Donetsk city area, and southern Ukraine, reports Ukrainska Pravda. The experts point out that Moscow is prioritizing the advance around Bakhmut and possibly towards Siversk, using mostly its own army there. At the same time, its proxy forces from the so-called Donetsk People's Republic are trying to seize ground that they have failed to take since 2014 on the Avdiivka axis. The high concentration of Russian volunteer battalions around Izum and Sloviansk suggests that the area is not a focus of Russian attention and may be vulnerable to Ukrainian counterattacks. The congeries of forces in and around Kherson region may pose significant challenges to Russian command and control, especially if Ukrainian forces press a counteroffensive there.
We call on you to demand from governments of your countries to impose the toughest sanctions possible on Russia and its citizens to stop their invasion of Ukraine. Thank you.